we need to eat less, but it's about a deeper science of physiology and nutrition science that we need to take care of. That's what I give in the book, and it has been praised by many A-list and fitness icons of our country, like Mr. Hrithik Roshan, as you said, Tiger Shroff. He's my dear friend, and I and brother, we work out very regularly together. Ranbir Kapoor and Anil Kapoor. So the journey so far has been incredible. If you are not enjoying what you are doing as a diet or exercise, you not stick to it. As long as your 3 months motivation is high, you will do it. Suddenly, when motivation is low, results slow down because that's natural, part and parcel of life.
Absolutely.
Whenever you follow something, initially you'll get 6 weeks, great results. After that, it'll start to slow down. When it slows down, what is your attitude, what is your behavior, what is your approach towards your life is what matters a lot.
Alright viewers, welcome to season 2 of Dhruv Gajjar Show. And आज के इस पहले एपिसोड में we have a very beautiful guest with us, जिनका एक्सपीरियंस और जिनका नॉलेज इस शरीर के बारे में इतना बेहतरीन है that he has helped lakhs of people from his social media presence, thousands of people from his center here in Mumbai, जहाँ पे मैं अभी बैठा हूँ, the beautiful setup of 48 Fitness in Andheri in Mumbai. He has been the columnist for many prominent news platforms like the Forbes, the Economic Times, and many different. And he is the author for Eating Less is Making You Fat. Yes, you heard it right. कम खाने से मोटे हो रहे हो आप. So that might sound very weird and शायद आपको हजम नहीं हो रहा होगा, मुझे भी नहीं हो रहा है अभी तक. So we'll understand कि क्या लॉजिक है उनका. एंड इस किताब को इतना लोगों ने सराहा है from all the Bollywood A-list celebrities like Hrithik Roshan, Tiger Shroff and everyone else. And आज वही पूरा knowledge और वही पूरी expertise मैं आपके लिए लेके आने वाला हूँ through the Dhruv Gajjar Show. So yes, my dear friends, let me welcome the very talented and the very handsome looking Mr. Vijay ji. Vijay ji, thank you so much for coming in this podcast.
Thank you so much.
It's lovely
for having me here.
to being in this beautiful setup of yours. हम अभी tour ले रहे थे, best in class equipments आपने लगाए हुए हैं, and that really helps. हर उस इंडिविजुअल को वो हेल्प करता है जो अपनी फिटनेस पे काम करना चाहता है, जो अपनी लाइफ में अपनी बॉडी फिजिकल या मेंटल फिटनेस को नेक्स्ट लेवल पे लेके जाना चाहता है. सो कूडोज टू यू फॉर दैट.
Thank you for the appreciation.
थैंक यू सो मच फॉर होस्टिंग अस. मेरे पागलपन को सपोर्ट करने के लिए धन्यवाद. सो आई वांटेड टू नो फ्रॉम यू विजय जी दैट फिटनेस इज समथिंग जिस पे ज्यादातर लोग, मतलब जब मैं शब्द यूज करता हूँ ज्यादातर लोग, तो I might even not be wrong to say that 80% people are not being able to regular.
Yeah.
वो regularly वो काम नहीं कर पाते. But you have been doing it from last 15 years or so, and आप इतना dedicatedly and you have made it your career, you have made it your life. So how did that shift happen? कब आपने सोचा कि this was fitness? This is me.
Thank you for this question. I would say that I was never serious about fitness, but it was back in 2005 when I was studying economics and management at the London School of Economics that I took my fitness seriously. I started working out rigorously because, like any college going boy, I want that best physique, the physique that other boys envy. So only with that aesthetic motivation, I started working out.
True.
But in 2006, my life threw me a curveball. जहाँ पे एक severe road accident, I had met with a severe road accident. That completely changed my life because I was in a comatose condition for quite some time, for many days actually. Of course, my near and dear ones were very tensed. The doctors did not know, what will happen and when will I get my consciousness. Fortunately, after a couple of days, I gained my consciousness, and then we did testing and all that, and we found out that there were many injuries in my body, from my jaw, head to my toes. Everywhere I was injured. So obviously, I had to go through many, surgeries for that to repair it. And once you come out of such traumatic situation, you can't get back to your normal life.
True.
Like you were doing earlier. So I was bedridden completely for months. My academic and fitness goals were completely on hold. I was not able to work out, not able to go to college because I'm not allowed to drive. So doctor said that don't drive right now because your focus and all is not there.
True.
So during that time, but the thing is that my mind wasn't stopped at all. My mind was continuing to work. And what I had was a profound realization when my doctors told me that because of my healthy body, fit body, strong body, I was able to overcome this particular detrimental event in my life. And because of my regular workouts that I was doing before the accident, because of the nutritious diet that I was following, I was able to cope up with the accident. So that made me, that was a pivotal moment for me, I would say, because so many times we have taken our health for granted. Just because we have it, we don't respect it. It's not only for health, it's for anything in life. But it's only when we lose it that we realize that, how important it was.
True.
So it is so important. And, there is a market. So if you talk about your phones, if you talk about your clothes, if you talk about the house, today you're bored with it, you just go to the market and purchase a new one. But unfortunately, our health, which is our most valuable asset, is irreplaceable.
Absolutely.
You don't have any market to go to if your health is gone.
Yeah.
If your joints are aching, if your organs are damaged. So that is the time that I realized that health is so important. And people need to go above the fact that मैं exercise करता हूँ क्योंकि मुझे weight lose करना है, मैं diet करता हूँ क्योंकि मुझे अच्छा दिखना है. Definitely, those are the side products of your discipline. But your main goal should be about health. And currently, the global estimates are also very, very concerning. We almost have 88% of adults suffering from obesity, diabetes, heart disease. Of course, there are silent killers like high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high triglycerides, high inflammatory markers. So when I experienced all these things with people, I felt a very strong calling of coming into this industry and adding in value. Because I truly believe that life is the biggest sport of all. सिर्फ athletes ही game नहीं खेलते, सिर्फ athletes ही focus नहीं करना चाहते हैं.
Absolutely.
We also should be focusing on our health.
True.
So only if we have our health with us, which is our most invaluable asset, only then, and it's an ally, it's our friend. So we need to embrace it, and we need to make sure that our lifestyle is catered to the body in such a way that we are able to sustain it and extend it for whatever time we are, and be happy about it.
True.
So with that motivation, I entered the fitness industry. I finished my master's in sports management from UK. And then I started 48 Fitness, which is an award-winning, fitness club in 2013. Then in 2023, I authored my fitness book, Eating Less is Making You Fat, which has been loved by many people. It resonated with many. And so many people have messaged me and told me that I was doing it so wrongly.
True.
The weight loss.
True.
I was going it about completely wrongly. And it's not that we need to eat less, but it's about a deeper science of physiology and nutrition science that we need to take care of. That's what I give in the book, and it has been praised by many A-list and fitness icons of our country, like Mr. Hrithik Roshan, as you said, Tiger Shroff. He's my dear friend, and and brother. We work out very regularly together.
Wow.
Ranbir Kapoor and Anil Kapoor. So the journey so far has been incredible. I think so. It has been really worth seeing people change their lives because of healthy lifestyle. The kind of joy they get, the kind of health they get, the kind of confidence that they get, it's simply amazing and gratifying to see those changes. So it's all down to the discipline that they're maintaining, all my clients, and also the kind of knowledge that they are researching all the time and checking with me that should I do this, should I do that. But has actually made me make this particular pursuit a worthwhile pursuit in the fitness industry.
Right. Absolutely too. It's a very motivating journey that you had, because it's like जब आप किसी चीज को गवाते हैं ना, तभी आपको उसकी कदर पता चलती है. And the names that you have said from all Bollywood and other industries, they are the icons that we see today, and we see all these different videos of them and photographs of them, memes of them, that this guy is aging in reverse.
Correct.
And उन्हीं लोगों के शायद आप लोगों ने नाम दिए.
Correct.
So it's beautiful to understand, just to know the thought process behind the nomenclature, because I've seen too many interesting nomenclatures when it comes to you. First is 48 Fitness. So why 48? And second is eating less is making you fat. So how did you boil down to that name?
Okay. So firstly, I would want to say that 48 Fitness stands for the resting heart rate. So, unlike other gyms that focus on aesthetics, that focus on external health, we want to focus on internal health. And the best biomarker or the best yardstick to understand what your fitness levels are is your resting heart rate. So what we have typically observed is that people who are diseased, who don't work out, who don't follow a good diet, who don't sleep well, their resting heart rate is very high.
Okay.
That is because our body, so average human body has around 5 liters of blood. Adult body. When the heart is working harder, it's beating much more faster per minute. That means it's not able to contract very deeply, very strongly, because of which it has to work again and again
Absolutely.
to make sure that your blood is getting circulated and getting purified every minute. But as soon as that heart rate goes down and you're able to pump that 5 liters of blood within a minute, say in 48 beats versus a 56 beats, we know that the heart is getting stronger.
True.
So that becomes a leading indicator that your health is good. So we wanted to focus and tell people that focus on your true health. Don't just focus on making your body very fit. Make sure that the engine behind the body is very good. So that's why we decided that okay, 48 fitness is what we will be calling it.
Right.
So though we have elite athletes like marathoners and all who have resting heart rate as low as 30, 31.
Wow.
But of course, with corporate professionals who come here, with the kind of people who come here, homemakers, for them it'll become an intimidating target to have. So we wanted a target that is doable and that
Realistic.
is achievable for people.
Yeah.
So hence 48, resting heart rate is what we wanted to aim and tell people that you need to do it through your lifestyle measures.
Sure.
Like regular exercise. When your cardiovascular activity goes up, your heart rate, obviously that time it's going up, but then later the body is compensating and it's reducing it. If you have good diet, if you're consuming less saturated fat, less artificial fats, trans fats, your heart will become stronger. And of course, sleep also has a deep impact on the heart.
True.
So that is where the name came from. Coming to eating less is making you fat, I think so weight loss is a big market and people are completely misguided on this subject, that how to go about losing weight. So that is why I chose the name eating less is making you fat. So what I have seen is that typically people, when they want to lose weight, they just think eating less equals more weight loss, but that is not completely true. The science goes much deeper into it, and what I argue in my book is that it's not about eating less or more, but it's about eating right. The quality of your meals will determine how much quantity you end up having. So over the years I have seen many people just blindly going with these social media influencers, going with fat diets and not actually sustaining their weight loss. That is because eating less is a tough road. Like I have been there, so many of my clients have been there. In fact, even studies like those conducted on the Biggest Loser contestants. So Biggest Loser is a big American weight loss show where they reward their contestants for losing maximum weight by eating less. Even that shows that it does not work very well. So if I were to give you an example, so the main reason why it does not work is because overeating is not the cause of weight gain. Many people think overeating is the cause of weight gain, so if I eat less, I'll lose weight. It doesn't happen like that. It's a symptom. Overeating is a symptom of an underlying problem in the body, which is related to hormones. Like insulin. So if I were to draw parallel with a real life example, I would say that if we want to treat an infection and if we have a fever due to the infection, just taking antipyretic medications to cool down will not solve the infection. You're just trying to dampen the symptom, but the root cause is still there. The infection is still there. The agent or the virus of the infection is still there. So you're supposed to address the infection, causing agent or virus before coming to solving it permanently through either vaccination or antibiotics. So similarly, just eating less without addressing the root cause, which is hormonal imbalance, will not solve weight issues. So that is what I talk about in the book. And the main reason for this is because our body wants to maintain a certain level of energy balance or homeostasis, it's called. Homeostasis means staying the same. As an engineer, I'm sure you would understand what homeostasis means. So if I were to take an example, let us say somebody has lost their job or income. What is the first thing that they will do? They will reduce their expenses, they will reduce their lifestyle and make sure that their savings are not deeply impacted. Because if savings draw down very fast, then your future survival is not guaranteed. So our body behaves in the same way. When the incoming food drops, the body reduces the energy that it is spending today. That is why normally we feel lethargic when we are eating less. Body thanda ho jata hai. Because everything in the body is getting dimmed down.
You don't feel like doing anything.
You don't feel like doing anything. You keep cribbing all the time. So when we start eating less, the body reacts in that way. The body adapts. So it's a very adaptive machine that we have. And this particular mechanism in the body has been built through millions and millions of years of evolution. As a race, we never had agriculture all the time.
Hmm.
It's only 10,000 years ago that agriculture came as a mainstream occupation for
Absolutely.
the human population. Before that, it was more of hunter-gatherers.
Hmm.
So our food environment was very unpredictable.
Hmm.
So the body has that mechanism that if the food environment is becoming dry, how to use our internal
Reserves,
stores to give
yeah.
to give fuel to the body. So because of that, the body kind of slows down,
Hmm.
a lot. And thanks to science today, we know the mechanism behind it.
Hmm.
So that is where the leptin levels are high.
Hmm.
So this combination, so when we eat less, this combination of high ghrelin level because it is elevated throughout the day, high insulin levels because we are having a lot of processed food, low leptin levels, makes us eat more than what our body requires. तो automatically क्या होता है, weight gain होता है. So now though we are saying that हम 1900 कैलोरीज खा रहे हैं, जो 300 कैलोरी कम है पहले से,
तो फिर भी वजन
बढ़ रहा है, फिर भी वजन स्टैग्नेट हो गया है. And then we get frustrated.
And then you drop it.
Then you drop it. Then we say नहीं, मेरे जीन शायद सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं मुझे. Genetics, and then drop it without knowing what the internal mechanism is.
True.
So that is the reason why eating less does not work. So what actually works is, so the real sustainable weight loss happens when we are balancing everything, the hormones in the body. So if we are able to dampen the ghrelin levels throughout the day, as we had discussed earlier, that if we increase our protein intake in the beginning of the day, throughout the day we are having lesser food. We don't feel as tempted to eat a lot or gorge a lot of food. So we need to reduce our ghrelin levels. We need to reduce our insulin levels. We need to elevate our leptin levels, and all of this happens when we have protein-rich foods. So the mechanism behind sustainable weight loss is not about eating less, but eating right.
True.
And one more point I would like to mention, that once we start eating less, the body starts to throw out water. So that is the initial weight loss that we experience. And that gives us a wrong sense that the diet is working. And our expectations go multifold. Because the initial first few days, all the water is lost. And because the water is lost to the tune of almost 80 to 85% of the weight loss that happens initially, हमारा expectation एकदम sky high. And only when in months or years that the body is into that deficit, does the body start reducing fat. But by that time, your weight loss has gone down. As in, your weight loss has reduced. Your hunger has gone up because of ghrelin. And the combination of two makes you feel frustrated. And you drop the diet.
True.
So therefore, we need to come to the strategy where we are eating smartly, not less. So therefore, I have introduced this FRFP framework, which stands for fasting first, restricting refined carbohydrates. It's about filling up with fat, because fat takes a lot of time to digest, one thing. And secondly, it does not spike up our insulin. And then proceeding with protein, so including protein in the diet. So this framework has helped so many clients, so many people who want to get into this journey of weight loss, lose their weight on a sustainable basis, not just a temporary fix.
True.
So choosing foods like protein, vitamins, and mineral-rich food like tofu or white rice can make all the difference.
True. So this brings me to two questions. Now we'll go by one. The first is, you mentioned कि आप जितना protein-rich foods सुबह में खा लोगे, let us in the beginning of the day, you'll feel like वो snacking का mood नहीं होगा, आपको hunger कम produce होगा because you're filled. Protein ज़्यादा time तक आपके पेट में रहेगा. So let us say in a vegetarian diet, what are a couple of things that you would suggest that are high in protein and जो आपके लिए वो help करेगा?
So one is protein. So I'll first cover the protein and then I'll cover the fiber.
Right.
So protein you can get from tofu, you can get from lentils, you can get from dairy. So these are the main protein sources that you can fall back to. Millets are also good, a decent source of protein. So though they are higher in carbs, but at least you're not just getting pure carbs. You're getting protein also.
Protein as well.
So even that is good. Nuts and seeds are also good, though one has to be little moderate in that because it's also high in fat and calories.
Okay.
But nonetheless, they are a good source of protein. So we can have that. We can have a combination of grains and legumes.
Okay.
So we can have soya bean, we can have edamame, beans. So these are the good sources of protein that a vegetarian person can have.
And for a non-vegetarian guy?
For non-vegetarian guy, everything that is available, so be it eggs, is pure protein. So in food kingdom, In animal kingdom, you have only protein and fats.
Hmm.
So whenever you eat animal products, you get protein and fats.
Hmm.
Whenever you're eating, plant protein or plant-based
Hmm.
food,
Hmm.
it'll always be a combination of more carbs, less protein, more
Hmm.
fat. So
Right.
so the 3 macronutrients will be there in plant,
Hmm.
but only 2 macronutrients are there in your
Meat.
animal food,
Animal kingdom.
which is your protein and fats.
Fat. Okay.
And fiber is very important. Animal sources don't give you fiber.
Hmm.
It's only plant sources that give you fiber. So once you have a lot of refined and processed food, all the fiber is removed.
Hmm.
So all you're left with is starch and sugar and
Hmm.
your
Carbs.
fats.
Fats.
So all 3 of them just make you eat more than what you
Ah.
require without the benefit of protein.
True. True. And the second question that comes to my head is, so there are two terms. One is a fat loss, and second is weight loss.
Hmm.
So I have a very rudimentary understanding that they're different. But how exactly are they different?
So they could be different and same both.
Okay.
Reason being that your weight is an amalgamation of all the tissues in the body.
Hmm.
So that includes your minerals, that includes the carbohydrates that you have stored in the body, in your muscle, in your liver. That's a combination of the organ weight that you have, the hair that you have, the muscles that you have, and also the fat that you have. So these are the components that comprises your weight. Your fat loss, on the other hand, is pure fat loss. So if you were to understand the two kind of losses, what you will see in the weight loss, is that your weight is going down, but probably your inches are not going significantly down.
Okay.
So that means there's not significant fat loss which is happening. Because what characterizes a tissue in the body is that whether it is firm and dense or whether it's sagging and it is just given into the gravity. So the fat tissue will always give into the gravity. It will not have any shape. Your muscle tissue, on the hand, any muscle that you take will always have a point of insertion, point of origin around your skeletal system. So it will always be defined. And at the same time, it will have weight. So therefore, if you're not reducing in volume, that means your inches are not going down. That means you're experiencing weight loss, which could be water loss and muscle loss. If you're experiencing inch loss and weight loss, it could be a combination of every other tissue and the fat tissue that you have, more being the fat tissue because your inches are going down. So if you want to reduce your wardrobe size, focus on fat loss.
Okay. In your Instagram bio, I was just when I was going through your profile, you have written functional medicine expert. So can you define that? What exactly does that mean?
Okay. So functional medicine is a shift from the traditional disease-centered approach of medical practice to a more holistic, patient-centric approach. So what do I mean by that is that we treat the whole person rather than an isolated set of symptoms.
Okay.
Like we don't look at a person, okay, you're experiencing this, take this. It's not like that.
Prescriptive nahi hai.
Prescriptive nahi hai. It's more of continuous lifestyle-related intervention that we do. So what we instead do is we don't just try to say that, okay, take this diet, take this lifestyle plan, take this your exercise plan, and make sure that your symptoms are getting managed. We don't do that. What we instead do is we try to understand the root cause of the lifestyle issue that they're facing, lifestyle disease that they're facing, and try to use lifestyle itself as medicine to cure it. So let me give you a simple example. When we treat diabetes patients, we don't just try to treat their high blood sugar, because I think so high blood sugar is well taken care of by the medical community, where they're given insulin injections, the patients, they're given oral hypoglycemic agents, so their blood sugar is getting managed. That's not a problem. What we try to understand is the root cause of the high blood sugar. क्यों blood sugar बढ़ रहा है? बचपन से तो आपको नहीं था, suddenly 30 के एज में, 35 के एज में, 40 के एज में आपको suddenly ऐसे कैसे हो गया? So we try to understand the root cause, and most probably, most likely, with my experience that I have, the root cause of diabetes in today's time, 95% of the time, is a condition called insulin resistance. So insulin is a hormone that helps the body clear blood sugar. So blood sugar कैसे clear करता है? जैसे ही meal के बाद blood sugar ऊपर जाता है, the body puts it in the liver. The body tells the brain to use it because brain is the highest consumer of glucose in the body.
True.
It tells the muscle that store it. Then whatever is extra remaining, that blood sugar has not been able to get cleared to normal level, will go into fat tissue. So these are the areas, these are the depots that the blood sugar goes in. Correct? And this is because of insulin. But when the insulin does not work very well, that means, say for example, insulin goes to the brain cell. Let's say take the sugar. The brain cell will say, no, I don't want it. So then you're creating a condition called insulin resistance.
Okay.
So this is the major reason of why people are experiencing diabetes and high blood sugar. So we try to understand that. And now the reason behind this insulin resistance could be many. It's multifactorial. It could be because of your sedentary lifestyle. So because you're not moving your body too much, your body is not burning too much of sugar. So whatever sugar you're having through food, it is getting status quo. Blood cell में blood में रह जाता है.
True.
It does not move. It does not go into other sites. Or it could be because of low muscle mass. Your muscle is the biggest reservoir of sugar. So as aging happens, your muscle keeps going down, which is called catabolism. So because of too much of catabolic activity in your body, though your diet is the same, though your macronutrients are same, but now your body is not able to digest that or assimilate that level of glucose because you don't have that much of muscle mass. So reason could be that because of insulin resistance. It could be a diet which is high in sugar and fats. That has, so you're pushing so much of sugar in your diet, in your body, that somewhere your body is saying enough is enough.
Absolutely.
So that's why your blood sugar is high. Or it could also be because of your lack of sleep or stress. In today's time, lack of sleep is a very common thing that we are seeing. So when your sleep is not very good, the stress hormone in the body, which is known as cortisol, is very high.
Okay.
And cortisol undermines the function of insulin. That means in high cortisol environment, your body is not able to use the insulin very well. Because of which the insulin cannot do the job. So insulin cannot do the job, your blood sugar remains high.
True.
So the root causes of insulin resistance is multifold. It's many. So we try to identify and pinpoint that particular problem and try to solve it with the client and try to make the body more functional using the medicine of consistent exercise, good muscle mass, good nutrition, adequate sleep and recovery. So we use that. And plus, I would also say that people, they think of diet and exercise as just an effective tool for weight management. But what they don't know is that they are effective, powerful medicines to help you reverse lifestyle diseases, not just manage it. So the top lifestyle diseases today are diabetes, heart disease, cancer. So all these things are reversible if you're able to address your lifestyle properly.
So it's more like creating a plan that does not become a culture shock for the patient.
Correct.
So उसके body को abruptly ऐसा नहीं लगे कि भाई कौन सी environment में अलग घुस गए.
Correct.
So it becomes more like a gentle curve.
Natural
and
acceptance.
it looks like naturally वो accept कर रहा है चीजों को.
Correct.
And in that process he feels like नहीं, it is actually helping me and he wants to do it more.
Correct. It's about getting the results over time and sustaining it.
True.
If you are not enjoying what you are doing as a diet or exercise, you not stick to it.
True.
As long as your 3 months motivation is high, you will do it.
True.
Suddenly when motivation is low, results slow down, because that's natural, the part and parcel of life.
Absolutely.
Whenever you follow something, initially you'll get 6 weeks, great results. After that, it'll start to slow down. When it slows down, what is your attitude, what is your behavior, what is your approach towards your life is what matters a lot.
True. Now, when you said about managing expectations, so there is a very important facet that has been coming in the perspective of many people in the coming last, let's say previous half of a decade. It's social media.
Correct.
So we're seeing people doing calisthenics. So that is like something that's in the trend right now. Calisthenics and different kind of exercises. So we're seeing calisthenics. We're seeing people do some unbelievable fitness things. They're able to do pull-ups and all that. That creates a expectation, graph.
Correct.
In the visual from the audience perspective. तो मेरे दिमाग में भी होगा कि यार मैं अभी यहाँ पे हूँ, मैं कभी यहाँ पे पहुँच पाऊंगा. 5 things you should do if you want to start calisthenics. ऐसे videos हैं. Then there are n number of different influencers. I'm not saying that they're giving out wrong information, but it's like they're giving. I feel like bits and pieces of information won't help you. So
Correct.
it's like you want to do this, make this shake, mix this, and eat this. Eat this 6 times in a week, or do this exercise every day for 15 minutes. I feel like those are bits and pieces of information, but they're not the whole picture. So what do you think about this bits and pieces, and how should the audience absorb it from social media, or whether they should?
That's a very good question. I would say that one needs to look at it from their perspective rather than the influencer's perspective. Where the influencer comes from, what their motivations are, it's completely different to what you are leading as a lifestyle. So even I would not do something that an influencer says that does not fit into my scheme of things. I will look at a broader picture. So this also, reminds me that, so many people, they want to follow, fitness influencers, these celebrities that, we have spoken about.
The 75
try to
hard
do their
challenge.
transformation. Yeah, try to do physical transformation.
Yeah.
So I would say that transformation is not a future event. आगे जाके होगा वैसा नहीं सोचना है. It's a present activity. तुम आज क्या कर रहे हो?
Wow.
So that is the dramatic transformation that I've actually seen personally with my clients, with, all my high profile people. That also at times happens in a short period of time. But at the same time, it is important to understand the context behind these transformations. That, कहाँ से ये हो रहा है, कैसे हो रहा है. So firstly, any influencer that you see on social media, you need to know that he did not start this activity yesterday and he's doing it today.
True.
There are years and years of experience, hard work, and grit and everything, that sacrifices that he has done to reach that level. So expecting yourself to get to that level immediately is, very wrong expectation that you're having from yourself. You need to understand the resources that are there around you. So, if you're looking at transforming, or if you're looking at adopting some kind of a routine in your life that you got influenced by some influencer, you need to further understand that how consistent you are with your exercise. Like my high profile clients, whoever has done dramatic transformation, amazing transformation, they are very consistent with their workouts. They don't miss their workouts. They also are, they also lead a very healthy lifestyle, comprising good nutrition. They understand the importance of sleep. That if I don't sleep today, tomorrow will be a very bad day. I can't compromise. So I need to sacrifice whatever it is that I want to do late night and compromise my sleep. I don't want to do that. Then they also have good physical strength. To get to a certain level of calisthenics, you're supposed to have basic level of strength.
True.
Which means that at least you should be able to deadlift, squat your body weight. और आपको body weight squat नहीं हो रहा है, तो आप आगे जाके क्या करोगे? So these are basic fundamental human movements that you should be well versed with.
Absolutely.
There are other factors of fitness that come into play. What is your endurance? What is your VO2 max? VO2 max is your cardiovascular systems and your muscular systems ability to use oxygen, to supply oxygen and use oxygen, so that you're able to generate energy. So what is that? That is very important. Are you flexible enough? If you're not able to even do a rowing or pull-ups, I think that's a big concern, because if your lats are very tight, you can't really do calisthenics. So your flexibility comes into play. And most importantly, your ideal body composition. The body composition should be good. So we are looking at a fat-free mass index of around 20 to 23 kgs per meter square of fat-free mass index. You should be having that. You should be having a decent body fat percent. So not a single-digit one, 7, 8, 9. वो नहीं. At least 12 to 14 तक होना चाहिए.
True.
So till the time these parameters are not looked at and taken care of, it'll be very wrong for you to expect yourself to do things that somebody with 10 years, 20 years of practice is doing today.
Correct.
So while bits and pieces are definitely one of the concerns that we have, but we also have a concern of whether you'll be able to integrate it into your lifestyle or not. आप कभी करोगे ये? सुबह करोगे, शाम को करोगे?
True.
कौन से days करोगे? What time will you dedicate? So all those things are very, very important for us to consider.
Absolutely.
Before we start making judgments or expectations.
True. And along with that, there are ये इस कैटेगरी में तो ये डेटा प्रेजेंट हो ही रहा है फ्रॉम इन्फ्लुएंसर्स एंड डिफरेंट वीडियोस कि आपको फिटनेस में ये करना चाहिए. Along with that, there are other category of videos which also go viral that you might have come across, that there are people suffering from heart attacks while working out and gym में deaths हो रहे हैं. So what causes that? Is like over exertion है, या is it something that's hidden which we should know about?
Yeah, that's a very relevant question, because I keep getting these questions, because especially with my clients,
True.
Whenever they are going for a workout and then they hear this news, like whether I'll come back or not. So yeah, it's a critical question, I would say, and it should be approached with certain sensitivity and a clear understanding of the underlying issues. So when we hear about such unfortunate events, I would say that it's easy to say that exercise किया तभी मरा, exercise नहीं करता था तो शायद जिंदा रहता था, आज का दिन देखता था, कल का सुबह
speculation हो गया वो.
Yeah. So instead of getting into that, I would say that we have to look at a holistic picture or what goes on into heart health. So heart health is influenced by multi mix of factors, including genetics and lifestyle. So when it comes to genetics, it is true that if one of our close relatives has heart condition, that means you have a family history of heart condition.
You're prone to have
Your
it.
risk, your risk goes up significantly by almost 33%. If there is only one close relative, if there are two or many close relatives, it can go up to 67%. So there's a genetic factor into play, but there's also lifestyle habits that determine how your heart health progresses. So which includes your pattern of exercise, your pattern of eating, your sleep pattern, the kind of smoking habits. Do you have smoking habits? How much alcohol you're consuming? So these are the lifestyle factors that actually impact your heart health risk.
True.
Interestingly, I would say that your calf muscle are your secondary it's your secondary heart for your circulatory system.
Okay.
That means your calf muscle helps your heart to get the blood back to the impure blood back. So if you're sitting all the time, a sedentary lifestyle will increase your heart disease risk, because the heart has to work harder, it has to strain itself to get that blood back without this ancillary support of the calf muscle. So that is one of the contributors. And suddenly, if you're getting to rigorous activity without prior conditioning, this particular underlying issue is exposed. So you've just exposed a weakness in your body, which has caused the heart attack, which could either be lethal or non-lethal. Lethal meaning leading to cardiac arrest. Non-lethal means it's just an attack. You need to go and fix it. Then even your diet plays a very big role in your heart health. So today's processed foods, rich in diet that we are consuming, increase the overall risk of our heart disease, because they are rich in sugar and fats, especially trans fats. So when we are consuming high processed food in the diet, it can lead to heart attack at any given point in time in the day. It increases the risk tremendously. So that could be in sleep, that could be while working out, could be anytime.
True.
And plus, if you look at the weight of evidence, the number of people who die of heart attack outside gym and people who die of heart attack in the gym,
True.
99.9% it's outside the gym.
True.
So if we cherry pick and just take 2-3 cases just because they are famous, it will not create a very good precedence or very good knowledge or science for people who are actually seriously wanting to pursue it. And then lack of your sleep, too much of stress also leads to heart events, adverse heart events, because if your cortisol levels are high, cortisol level deeply impacts your heart muscle. So then your risk of heart disease goes up. So it's a multi-mix of factors, I would say. It's genetics, it's the lifestyle choices that we make. It's a whole bag of things that actually leads to a cardiac arrest or a adverse cardiac event.
True.
So it's about balancing good exercise, good amount of exercise you should be doing. You should be balancing it with good nutrition, adequate sleep, so that everything is getting balanced, because physical activity, after all, is a cornerstone of a healthy heart.
Absolutely.
And the last thing that I would want to say is that people need to do heart health checks every now and then. So I recommend bi-yearly or yearly, just to have that clear picture and a preventive picture of what your heart health is, and take preventive action if there is something wrong. That can tremendously extend one's life and preserve the heart.
So there, you used the word preventive. So what we have been seeing in the world is that medicine is evolving constantly.
Correct.
So in the very rudimentary days, it was prescriptive medicine. You are facing this symptom, this is the medicine, take it, it will solve that symptom. Then people started to go for let us say preventive medicine. कि ये होने से पहले ही वो कहते हैं ना, बाढ़ आने से पहले बांध देना चाहिए.
Correct.
Now the world is going towards predictive medicine. So you have all these genetic testings. They predict your genes and वो आपको predict करके देते हैं कि how much prone you are to a certain point. So how beneficial is that according to your experience?
It is beneficial because if you have some genetic risk factor with you, doing these tests and coming out with some conclusion will actually make you very active in participating in your health and in your lifestyle journey. Because the way we used to do it earlier was we suddenly get a symptom, we go to the doctor, we diagnose some problem, and then we start to correct it. And we correct it not through lifestyle but through medicine. Say for example, if somebody has diabetes or somebody has high blood pressure, they are given medicine and they are told to make sure that medicines are taken on time. So that is an inactive role that the patient was playing earlier, without actively actually doing things about
Correct.
preventing it or managing it.
Hmm.
Now we are coming to medicine 3.0. That was 2.0. Now this is 3.0.
Hmm.
In 3.0, the preventive part becomes very important
Hmm.
because now you'll have an active role to play in the
Hmm.
whole recovery process, in the whole, in the whole lifestyle process of making your body
Hmm.
better.
Correct.
So instead of just relying on medicines,
Hmm.
which definitely, if you have a condition, you should be following your doctor's advice. But then at the same time, see to it that this is not the whole solution.
Hmm.
This is just masking the symptoms that may lead to certain problems or may aggravate it.
True.
Like there are many people who start with high body fat
Hmm.
in 20s. By 30s, they're diagnosed with diabetes. Then they're diagnosed with high blood pressure. Then they're diagnosed with high cholesterol. By the time they're 60s, 70s, then cancer catches them.
Hmm.
So, the indication or the marker should have come when your body composition changed, when your
Correct.
BMI went up. That should be a trigger for you to say that, okay, I need to actively now
Hmm.
reverse it.
Hmm.
And preventive
Correct.
medicine has tremendous benefits in improving one's quality of life, one's
Hmm.
number of years that you have.
Hmm.
Because longevity is not only about the number of years that you're living, but it's about the quality of the life that you have
Hmm.
for the number of years that you're living.
Correct. How many
Because-
years are you living healthily?
Correct. So if your if your morbidity goes up,
Hmm.
mortality, before mortality comes morbidity.
Hmm.
That means you're bedridden for 10 years before you pass away.
Correct.
So through medical assistance, you'll be able to live that 10 years.
Hmm.
But then what is your quality of life is what the question
Correct.
is.
True. True.
Would you want to live that life?
True.
Would you want to travel? When you want to travel, you can't actually.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing this in the world actually, honestly speaking.
In fact, the most demeaning thing is, not being able to go to the washroom also by yourself.
Yeah.
Musculoskeletal system has deteriorated so much with osteopenia, osteoporosis, sarcopenia that
Hmm.
you're not able to use your, quads,
Yes.
your thigh muscles to even get up. So in that case, you're supposed to have some assistance, and that is the most private time of your life, which you
Yeah.
should be sharing with yourself.
True.
Not somebody else. So
True.
if you're taking that preventive action, there's definitely life to your cords, life to your body
Hmm.
that you can actually extend, but you have to play an active role in that.
True. Absolutely. And that is what we're seeing. So my grandmother, she has been teaching yoga for free from last 40 years.
Oh, wonderful.
And she, of course, because of age, everyone goes through the deterioration of the kneecaps.
Hmm.
She went through a knee replacement surgery, and the recovery that we have seen in her,
Hmm.
vis-a-vis, the recovery that we see in many
Regular
of the
population,
other
yeah.
people,
Yeah.
it is very rapid and fast.
Oh, wonderful.
That is because she has been doing it. वो इतने time से yoga कर रहे थे.
हाँ.
She's 70 plus today, but still every day morning it's her ritual to go to the garden,
Correct.
do yoga with her group of 20-25 ladies,
Correct.
and it has become a ritual for her. So that actually helps. If your surrounding muscles are good and one of the part is damaged, it helps to compensate it.
Correct.
And just when we're talking about compensation, there's one very controversial question that I would like to ask you. It's not actually controversial, but it has become the way of life nowadays. There's a thing called nightlife.
Hmm.
So let us say nightlife starts at around 10, 11, 12, goes all the way up to when you want to sleep.
Yeah, your endurance.
Yeah,
then.
your endurance. And the very common, I won't say excuse, but the common answer that we get is we're compensating it by sleeping in the day. So is that right, or is that actually a biological clock of the body according to the clock of the day?
Yeah.
That we should sleep when we should sleep and we should wake up when we should wake up.
Yeah, ideally it should be that, because our bodies are well tuned with the sunlight,
Hmm.
the direction of the sun. So which is called the circadian rhythm of our body.
Hmm.
So the circadian rhythm means what kind of hormones you're releasing at what particular time in day.
Hmm.
So typically after 9 o'clock we have melatonin going very high.
Hmm.
Melatonin is a signal so melatonin is released by the pineal gland,
Hmm.
which instructs your body and brain to shut down, to sleep. So that level is very high.
Hmm.
And that level needs to be high because then only physiologically you can get into deep sleep and get
Hmm.
quality sleep.
Correct.
Because it is not about the quantity of sleep that you get, but the quality of sleep that you get. So in fact, many people who have a certain genotype of having high level of deep sleep
Hmm.
within few hours are the ones that we see that they are sleeping for 5-6 hours and then they are fresh.
Hmm.
It's equivalent to getting 8 hours of sleep.
Correct.
So the recovery that they get in 4 hours is faster.
Hmm.
So therefore, the melatonin becomes very important when it comes to inducing quality sleep.
Hmm.
because the glymphatic system in the brain. So glymphatic system in the brain is the drainage system in the brain. So throughout the day, we are thinking, we are processing, information and all that. So that leads to a lot of neural junk, which only gets cleared in the night, thanks to the glymphatic system.
Correct.
That lymphatic system is only activated once you get deep sleep, not shallow sleep. So the melatonin plays a very important role in this particular thing, which releases at 9, peaks at around 1-2 o'clock, and then starts to go down when we start having disturbed sleep.
True.
And then at the same time, morning your cortisol levels are high. Because now you want to wake up. So the photoreceptors in your eyes, in your skin, detects the sunlight. So when sunlight is there, automatically you'll start feeling agitated.
True.
Because the glands in the body detect that it's daytime, it's time to wake up, it's time to go and do your work. So your cortisol levels are high. So that time you get the most fresh kind of a wake up. But if you're not sleeping on time, you're sleeping late, waking up late, so that creates a lot of issues in the glands of the body. So they're not able to function very well, which then leads to a lot of lifestyle problems, heart problems, diabetes, stress, because the whole body is gone out of whack.
Yeah, true. And that brings me to another question. When you said it's all about sleep kind of presses F5, that's refresh.
Correct.
For your body. So like being fresh is very required nowadays, because lifestyles have become very sedentary. There are desk-ridden jobs. You're sitting at a singular place, looking at a singular screen. There's no neck movement as well, honestly
Correct.
speaking. So what would you suggest for, because that is like with the advance of technology, that is like cost of technology, that you have to sit at one place and do it.
Correct.
So what would you suggest to people who have such sedentary work profiles and they have to sit at one place, do long hours and at the desk? What would you suggest them to make sure that their body does not become like stiff and rigid?
That's a great question, Dhruv. I would say that because of your sedentary lifestyle, because you're spending too many hours on the seat, just at one place, it has not only led to musculoskeletal problems like osteopenia, osteoporosis, your sarcopenia, but also led to many of the lifestyle-related ailments that we are seeing today, which is heart attack, diabetes, your cancer. So we can actually undo the problems by doing just 3 simple things. So one is take frequent movement breaks. I would say that keep moving your body, keep changing your positions every now and then. So for desk-bound individuals, I would say that just keep a timer. So you have the Alexas, the Siris of the world, to just tell you that it's half an hour, start moving.
Wake up, yeah.
So you can keep such a timer. Every half an hour, you can probably move for 5 minutes, stand up, stretch, walk. So that is my one thing that we can do, because that also actually improves your circulation.
It does.
Preserves your bone mass. It does not allow it to become weak, and also reduces the risk of chronic pain, joint pain. Second would be to focus on an ergonomic setup. So make sure that where you're working, it's a little conducive for your spine, for your wrist, for your neck. So either you can do standing meetings. So a lot of my team members, they focus on standing meetings. So whenever they're doing, so especially nutritionists, whenever they're doing consultation, they try to alternate between one consultation seated, one consultation standing. So standing desk is very important. Having an adjustable chair is also a very good thing, because they'll help to reinforce the natural curvature of your spine. Keeping your monitor screen at eye level so that it does not strain your neck. Also, making sure that your wrist, your keyboard and mouse are keeping your wrist in a neutral position. That's very important. Then number 3, I would say that focus on mobility drills. So whenever you're sitting, you're in that only one position. But when you expose your body parts to extreme range of motion, is when they actually improve, in terms of their functionality. So therefore, you can do couch stretch for the hip flexors, because the parts of your neck, your spine, and your hips are most affected.
Yeah.
When you are sitting all the time. So just focus on opening up the hip flexors through couch stretch, or do thoracic spine rotations. So if you have your desk, just extend your hand and just go down. So your lats, which is your V-shaped muscle, will get that stretch.
True.
Your shoulders will get good stretch. So that's a good way of doing it. So that'll at least help you to reverse the problems that a sedentary lifestyle can have.
True.
Also, I would say a bonus tip would be to look at your overall, physical activity levels throughout the week. So like the health guidelines recommend us to do at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity cardio activity, which could be, training anywhere between 55 to 65% of your maximum heart rate, calculated by 220 minus age. So 150 minutes you should be dedicating that in a week. 75 minutes in rigorous activities in a week, which should be about 75% and more of your maximum heart rate. So if you focus on that, you should focus on muscle strengthening activities at least 2 or more days a week. So that'll give you a comprehensive outlook and comprehensive protection against sitting induced ailments.
True. Because what I have been seeing is, I've seen a couple of friends of mine, and it is also there on the internet or in many couple of videos and all. Eventually, even if your hands are like this for a long period of time, the nerve endings in your hands also get damaged.
Correct.
So you see people with trembling hands.
Correct.
The hands start to tremble.
Correct.
Their sensations become weak, and ये सभी चीजें होती है. So it's not only that, you'll eventually start facing much bigger problems.
It's called carpal tunnel syndrome.
Okay.
So carpals are the bony structures that we have. All the nerves go through it. So suddenly, when you're keeping it in one position or unnatural position, the tendons kind of get inflamed, because of which it impinges on the nerve. So that really reduces the functionality of your body.
True.
And grip strength is very important.
Absolutely.
In fact, grip strength is associated very deeply or very strongly associated with your lifespan.
True.
So typically, what we have seen is that people who die in the next 10 years, they have a very weak grip strength. So it starts from that. So it's a leading indicator for you to know.
True. Yeah, absolutely agreed. And I usually make it a habit that if it is something that I have to sit at a singular place for a long time, then every 30-35 minutes I just walk, I take my hands above my, I'll stretch it, I just stretch my spine a little bit. So it not only helps me to make sure that my body does not become rigid, but doing that also, then after doing that, when I sit back for work, I'm refreshed.
Correct. You have that good mental break.
Break एक आ जाता है,
space
so that is very much required. So the last question for today, Vijay ji. Sure. You have worked with so many individuals, be it through your online presence, your offline presence, your master classes, your one-to-one consultings. You have worked with A-listers, top-notch people of the health and fitness industry, the Bollywood industry. What is that one thing that makes the difference?
Okay, so if you were to say one thing, I would say discipline and consistency.
Okay.
So if you have that when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to exercise, when it comes to making sure that you're resting very well, because rest is something that people don't understand, that it's an important part and parcel of your life. It's like if you're hungry and if you don't eat, your metabolism goes down, your glucose levels go down, your blood pressure goes down, and there are these effects that you immediately see. With sleep, unfortunately, that is not the case. The effects are seen after many, many years of abuse. So sleep becomes important. So I would say that if somebody wants to stay fit, they need to be disciplined about 3 things, which I call the human health tripod. One is they should prioritize nutrition, because you can't out exercise a bad diet. So many people I have met who have then explained that why just because you're going to drink in the night does not mean that you do more cardio right now. It does not compensate, it does not work like that. It's not calorie in, calorie out, because the damage that your drinking will do, it can't be repaired by your exercise.
It's not a mathematical equation.
Yeah, there are 2 different compartments. So if you're drinking, you drink. If you're exercising, you exercise. You don't exercise more to drink more. So prioritize nutrition. Make sure that your nutrition is good. You're consuming whole nutrient-dense foods which fuel your body and mind. And you can focus on having more of variety of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, millet, lean protein, and healthy fats into your diet on a regular basis. Because I would say diet is the basis or the foundation of good fitness, because it improves your energy levels, it helps you to recover well, and for your overall well-being also, it's nice. But it's not that you will do it very strictly. So it's not about strict restriction or strict limitations. It's more about finding that balance, the way you're nourishing your body very well. Then number 2 would be consistent exercise. Exercise hands down is the most important thing that you should be doing in at least today's age. Earlier, probably 50 years down the line, I would have not emphasized it so much, because there were reasons for us to move. Today there are no reasons for us to move. except the
True.
fact that we have to plan and exercise. So make sure that you're a little more consistent with the exercise. You can have a
Okay.
mix of any activity that you enjoy and can stick to long term. So that could be yoga, running, swimming, strength training, could be anything. Just make sure that you're consistent with it. And sleep, again, overlooked in terms of its impact on staying fit. It helps you recover well. It helps you to work out very well, because next day, the day that you don't sleep, you can't work out, you can't work, you can't do anything. So make sure that you are getting enough 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night to recover well, and to make sure that your body comes back strong and fresh. So that is very important.
True.
And of course, mindfulness, mental health is also important, because without a healthy mind, you can't have a healthy body. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely.
So being mindful, having positive thoughts about your fitness journey are very important for you to support your healthy lifestyle.
And one thing that you said just leads me to one more question. There are different kinds of supplements available in the market. Now, some supplements are suggested by people.
Correct.
But there's a major populace in this world that resorts to supplements without anyone suggesting them, just out of their own free research and choice and will.
The Google and the WhatsApp.
The Google and
University,
WhatsApp doctors, yeah. So, are those supplements actually deteriorating if not taken under expert supervision, or is it like okay, theek hai, chal jata hai?
I think so. It's a crucial topic because many people, they don't understand the science behind it. But as a functional medicine coach, I always emphasize on following evidence-based nutrition. So it is about consuming supplements that have been tested well, that have been experimented under strict conditions, so that the outcomes are not by chance. Outcomes are by choice or by design.
Yeah.
So that is very important. And the second thing I would say is that people don't understand the meaning of supplement. So let us understand the meaning of supplement. Supplement means just that, supplementing a whole good food diet. Supplement should be correct. Assist or supplement basically.
Okay.
So supplement should be part of well-rounded nutrition plan and not a substitute for it. But unfortunately, in today's market, I would say that supplement industry growing almost at 9% compounded annual growth rate, and currently valued at around 175 is the last number that I saw, billion US dollars. They might prioritize profit over consumer health, leading to products that are not only expensive, because supplements, many of them are very, very expensive.
True.
But they can also come with a lot of misleading claims and downside. So I would say that we need to just make sure that the supplements that we are having. So firstly, we need to have a very cautious and very well-informed approach towards what we are having.
True.
And the supplements that we are having should have good backing of data behind it, for not only efficacy means it's effective, but also for no side effects. In fact, I would put no side effects first before going to efficacy. Because if you're spending something and you're damaging your body, that's not good.
True.
If you're spending something but it's going in your urine, that's okay.
Yeah.
But not damaging you,
Yeah.
So prioritize the fact that it's not harming you in the long term. So specifically, if there are some supplements that I would recommend, I would say that these are the 7 ones. So one is whey protein. Whey protein is an essential nutrient, I would say that, which is derived from milk. Not many people know that it's derived from milk. And given the protein deficiency, so recent research, epidemiological research in India has shown that almost 70% of Indians don't even meet the minimum protein requirement in their diet.
That is what we were discussing
which is about,
some time back.
Which is about 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. So if we are adding protein supplements, whey protein supplements to our diet, it will help to fill the nutrient requirement, the protein requirement in our body for muscle growth and repair, and thus a strong body. And the great news is that we can make whey protein at home. Not many people know that. So whenever we make paneer, whenever we split the milk after increasing the acidity, apart from paneer, the yellowish greenish liquid that we get is the whey protein that we can add to our food. And thus increasing our protein intake in the day. Second one would be, I would say, multivitamin and mineral supplements. Reason why I'm saying that is because in today's time, processed foods are increasing a lot. Our diets are more rich in processed food than unprocessed foods.
True.
So supplementing with MVMs, which is multivitamin and mineral supplements, helps us to bridge that gap especially for essential micronutrients often lacking in our diet. I would say, and most notably, I think recently the dietary committee guideline. I was going through their report, and they said that the most nutrient of concern today are vitamins A, C, D, calcium, choline, which is lacking in our diets, iron, magnesium, potassium, but
B12 to some extent.
B12 also.
Yeah.
But I'll add. Sometimes people are Indian genetically are able to store a lot of B12, so the excretion is not very high. So deficiency, though it is there in vegetarian population, it is there, but not as much.
True.
As vitamin D or C or the other nutrient of concern that we're talking about. But I'll also add omega-3 and fiber 2 to this, because people don't have enough fiber because of processed food. They don't have too much of omega-3 because most of the oils that we're using are rich in omega-6 fats. Because if you add omega-3 to it, then the shelf life goes down.
True.
And the companies don't want us to don't want to incur losses. They want to increase the shelf life of their product. So omega-3 needs to be supplemented, I would say. People who are on extreme diets, who eat less, they are highly susceptible of nutrient deficiencies. These nutrients that we're talking about. So, for example, I was going through this research recently by Calton. So what he did was he analyzed 27 essential micronutrients in 4 popular diets, namely the Atkins diet, the South Beach diet, the DASH diet, which is dietary advice to stop hypertension, and the Best Life diet, against what is recommended as per the reference daily intake (RDI) standards. And what he found was that almost 56% of the diets fell 56% short of these essential micronutrients, and also lacked 15 of the 27 essential micronutrients analyzed. So that is the kind of thing that we're talking about when people go on a diet.
True.
So if they don't have MBM supplements, this is the kind of deficiency that they might get, that can lead to anemia, beriberi, scurvy. These are very bad diseases which should not be there.
True.
Even recent research by Bird and colleague showed that people who don't use MBM supplements were 40% more likely of having nutrient deficiency than 14% of people who used MBM supplements. So that is the kind of difference that we're talking about.
Wow.
Then number 3 would be creatine monohydrate. I think you would have heard about it.
Yeah.
It's a very popular thing that people have after workout
Absolutely.
in the gyms, because it has shown efficacy in not just improving performance, but also improving muscle mass and improving cognitive functions. Number 4 would be beta-alanine. It's again becoming very common for people to consume. So beta-alanine helps improve endurance. It helps us reduce muscle fatigue. This can be especially important for people who are vegetarians, because vegetarians normally have very low levels of muscle carnosine, which is needed for the muscle to buffer lactic acid. So number 4 would be that. Number 5 would be sodium bicarbonate, which is commonly known as baking soda. So baking soda helps to buffer acid in the muscle and helps us improve performance across all the activities spanning your strength endurance continuum. So right from strength training, which is working out in the gym, to endurance, something like marathon or something like swimming. Bicarbonate, again, sodium bicarbonate can help us, improve our performance in that.
Interesting.
And as per the International Society of Sports Medicine, Sports Nutrition, the ideal dose for saturation in the body is between 0.2 to 0.5 grams per kilogram of body weight, consumed around 90 minutes before workout through a gelatin capsule. Or some people also get gastric upset because of this, so they can divide that dose into with their meals at the rate of 0.1 to 0.2 grams. So sodium bicarbonate is a good supplement. Then at number 6, I would say nitrate is very good. So people have this nitric oxide pre-workout supplement. So nitrate is naturally found in fruits, in green leafy vegetables and root vegetables.
Okay.
So green leafy is like spinach, root vegetable is like potato, sweet potato. So you find nitrate in that. So nitrate has shown to increase blood flow to the muscles.
Okay.
So the blood vessels have this gas called the nitric oxide. So when we consume nitrate through these vegetables, and both green leafy and root vegetables, it goes into our digestive system and gets broken down into nitrite. This nitrite is then absorbed into the bloodstream, and the endothelial cells of the blood vessels, they extract this nitrite, and it converts it into nitric oxide, which helps dilate the blood vessel, increasing the blood flow to the muscles. and improving muscular efficiency. So that, as per the International Olympic Committee, should be consumed between 300 to 550 mg.
Okay.
Around 2 to 3 hours before exercise.
Workouts.
So which is like equivalent to 2 to 3 cups of beetroot or 1 cup of raw spinach.
Oh.
So people can have nitrate. That's a good supplement to supplement with. And the last one would be caffeine. Caffeine, I would say, that is the highest used drug in the world.
True.
It has shown to improve endurance. It has shown to improve strength and fat loss by increasing focus and reducing the perception of effort.
True.
So these are the couple of supplements that I would recommend. Steroids, I would say no, because steroids is something that people keep asking me about. That should I take steroid? Should I not take steroid? So I would say that steroids come with significant health risk. And for people who are not bodybuilders, whose bread and butter is not about looking good, looking big on the stage. It's about maintaining their fitness, maintaining their health, maintaining their lean mass, endurance, flexibility. Steroids are not needed actually, because they need a lot of ethical consideration. Though they increase muscle mass and they are just a synthetic derivative of testosterone, the male hormone, but it comes with a lot of hard work and it comes with a lot of significant risk. So we want to understand that whether that risk is worth taking or not.
True.
So steroids, I would say that without steroids, just with consistent exercise, good nutrition, thoughtful supplementation are good enough, and they are cornerstones of a healthy lifestyle. So
True.
When it comes to supplements, just stick to well-informed supplements, grounded in science, and not the ones that your industry tells you to have, what the trending thing is.
True.
To stay fit.
Makes sense. No, it absolutely makes sense, Vijayji, because eventually being aware about all these things is the most important thing, so that whenever you take a decision, you are informed. You can take a wise decision, because this is like if you take a wrong step, then there is a very low possibility that you'll be able to put a reverse gear to it.
Correct.
Because this is your body, and as we discussed it very rightly, that it is not something that you can go and buy if you break it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to be precautious about it. You need to be careful about it, and that is what will eventually define how your graph of life will proceed in your life.
Correct.
Be it from your profession or your personal or your relations or your even own mental wellness.
Sure.
Absolutely agreed, and it was really an insightful discussion that we had today.
Thank you.
Helped me get a lot of new things, and of course I'm pretty damn sure that the viewers would also be able to get something new out of it.
Happy.
And they'll be able to take a better step. Eventually, everything that we do is to make the world a notch up, a better place than when we entered before, and that you are definitely doing. So I really appreciate all that you do for the humankind, I would say, for all the wellness of the human beings and all the people who are associated with you. Thank you so much once again for connecting with us. Just as a concluding note, if you would like to share something with our viewers, then please feel free to do so.
I would say that, guys, just focus on your health. Everything else is surplus. Everything else, if it comes, it's good. But if our health does not come, it's not good. So just focus on, making sure that you eat things that come from the plant rather than something that is manufactured in a plant. It's a big difference. So just be consistent with your training, be consistent with your nutrition. You don't have to just be very strict, because being strict is not natural. It's not human. We need to have our times of celebration. We need to have our times of weak moments that we can exercise. But in totality, it should be what you're doing on a regular basis that actually matters. So make sure that what you're doing contributes to your health.
So that, my dear friends, was the very amazing Mr. Vijay Thakkar, with all his experience of the human body and health, fitness, well-being, functional medicine for you. I hope you got something new out of it, and मैं expect करता हूँ कि आप लोग इसमें से कुछ implement कीजिए अपनी life में. And if you are feeling कि ये आपको actually help कर रहा है, then do share it with us. Do tag me, do tag Vijay ji on social media, so that we can also come to know about your beautiful transformational journeys. And just like that, मैं आता रहूँगा आपके साथ, आपको मिलने के लिए ऐसे कई सारी नई बातें लेकर. So thank you so much for watching this episode. Take care, stay safe, stay healthy.